Hey everybody, welcome back to the Natatorium Knowledge Channel. I'm your host, Eric Knight with Arenda, and today we're going to be talking about a pretty controversial issue in competitive swimming, and I have my subject matter expert here with me, Justin Caron. He is one of the principal designers and executives for Aquatic Design Group, one of the foremost commercial swimming pool, recreational water design firms, probably in the world, certainly in the country, but they are global. And Justin was also a competitive swimmer. So we're going to talk about how do we change the culture of swimming or the swimming pools in general so that less people pee in those pools, and how do we get more people to shower before getting into the swimming pool. So Justin, thanks for being with me. There's your question. I'll let you start.
So as Eric said, I was a competitive swimmer. I happened to come up right in the era where the big, fast, tight, full body suits were coming into vogue, right? So from the trial suits in 2000, everyone got the fast skins to the paper suits, to basically things that take you 25, 30 minutes to get on. And if you take them off, you're probably going to rip them. And that's a $300 investment. So
I've ripped two.
Yeah, I had one rip on me on the blocks.
I had that happen too at a Grand Prix meet. It was pretty fun.
But I swam anyway because you can't quit. Once you're up there, you just got to let it hang out. So pun intended. So we as swimmers, competitive swimmers specifically, are conditioned, and there's a culture not only from the coach but also with your cohorts, with your peers, that you suck it up, right? You stay in the pool, you finish your sets, you don't
put in the work.
If you get out, you're going to head to head with someone, and now you're going to go back and race them 2 minutes later after you just get a break. No, you get your butt back in the water and we're going to do this, right? Yeah. And so, I've been literally in a set with people who have pooped their pants, their swimsuit in the middle on a flip turn and kept swimming, right? And the coaches kind of just brush things into the gutter and ignore it because, again, there's that culture. And I'm going to leave.
You're showing your age, man. That would never have been acceptable. And I'm only a few years younger than you, but with the recreational water illnesses,
right,
that's definitely not okay. But peeing is accepted in the culture.
But that's the point. I think, right, the point is education, right? Now people understand water recreational illnesses. Those RWIs a lot better than we used to. And so, fecal matter pools, code browns are pretty seriously administered and dealt with now. But anything on the pee side is still kind of like, ha, 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 right? I mean, it's like,
well, it's sterile. And well, tell me I'm wrong, but in swimming, I actually started in college, so I didn't grow up in the club scene, but everybody says, oh, chlorine kills it, but there's nothing to kill. Hopefully, unless you have a UTI or something. Urine is sterile. What they really mean is I don't want to get out. And I've been one of the loudest voices. I've published in NSPF and did an opinion piece there, and swam and all these other things. Like, there are legitimate reasons why swimmers don't get out to pee, and I'm going to float a few of them by you, and I want to hear your answer as a design professional. What do we do about this? Okay, and I'll cut to my summary. We have to act accordingly and assume it'll keep happening. That's my position, and I'm hoping you can change my mind that there's something we can actually do to address it and get them to pee less. First things first, body temperature. You have to warm up for like 30 minutes in swimming. That water's 80 degrees, 82 at the hottest. Typically where I was, 79, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not warm. People who are not competitive swimmers are not going to be comfortable in that water. But when you first get in, it's cold and we have to warm up. Well, if we get out, evaporative cooling on our skin, your teeth can shatter even if it's 84 degrees in the air. You get really cold, and then you go into an air-conditioned locker room. That's when you get really, really cold. Would you agree with that?
I would.
So right there, my warm-up is shot, and that's half an hour into a 2-hour workout. So that's about when you have to pee too, right? So it'd be nice if you had a bathroom break, but then you have to almost do like a mini warm-up right after that to get back to where you were, because the last thing you want to do is burn out on a set because you pulled a muscle or failed. The second thing I'm going to say is it's the culture. Like you said, you put in the work. The last thing you want to be accused of is being a save up Sally because you cut out, or, oh, my shoulder hurt, or I had to go pee. Well, who knows? Did you go pee? Or did you just fail and not want to admit it? And so there's an accountability thing in the culture. And then the final thing, I have like 8 or 9 things, but I'll just say for this video, the final thing is the last thing you want to do in swimming is have to ask somebody for clarification on the set because you weren't there to hear it. Would you agree with that?
I would.
So what do we do?
So I think there's a couple things we can do. You know, I have a kindergartner and second grader, and before we go anywhere, they have to use the bathroom. When we get to a pool, they have to use the bathroom, right? Not only do they have to use the bathroom, but I also make them take a shower because I know that not only is chlorine deactivated, used up by urine, but also by sweat, by dirt, by whatever else is on our bodies that we can wash off. So informing, educating, not only our swimmers, but also our coaches that, hey, I know you're running late, you've been in class all day, you just got here, you're stuck in traffic, whatever it is, pee before you get in the pool, rinse off before you get in the pool. Then that water actually might not feel so bad because you just got a shower. Now your body's doing that evaporative cooling thing. You jump in the water, it's going to be a little bit better. So it gets back to education and understanding that, you know what, swimmers, there's a real thing called swimmer's lung, right? We all understand what that is theoretically, but you're breathing this chloramine cloud every day. That can be drastically reduced if you shower and you pee in a toilet. So those would be the first things. Second thing would be working specifically with your designers, your professionals, to have deck side bathrooms so we don't have to go into a locker room. I think that there's a couple trends in greater society that are going to help this. One, frankly, COVID, right? COVID is now, pools are safe, you can lap swim, our facilities are shut down. So you're in the water 45 minutes, you're in the water for an hour, you're not allowed to use the showers, you're not allowed to use the bathrooms except for maybe 1 or 2 stalls that they clean fairly regularly. So that's going to continue to be very important moving forward. COVID ain't going away, right? I mean, I don't care what vaccine we get, it's going to be another strain of the flu, hopefully, that will be the end case. But it's something we're going to have to be even more cognizant on from a hygiene standpoint, sanitation standpoint. The second trend is transgender use and family changing areas, right? There's a big push to providing more of those little cubes, those little stalls, those little water pods, whatever we want to call them, to provide for a gender equity issue. If, you know, someone's transitioning, someone's not comfortable on either side, but also for parents with younger kids, for seniors who might need, or not necessarily just seniors, any patron who might need some assistance getting in and out of the water, getting changed, etc. So if we can locate more of those right off the deck, so you don't have to go into a pool, those are kept a little bit warmer, say 85, 86, 88 degrees, then I think that helps with a lot of those issues. One, it's faster. Two, you have eyes on it, so you know someone's not sitting in a warm shower in the locker room pretending to pee. And three, it's much more easy to access.
Yeah, it's proximity, right? I mean, especially for those with accessibility issues, handicapped or whatever it is, that totally makes sense for those bathrooms. But what you're saying is competitive swimmers should be using those bathrooms too, right? Because it's so much faster. Look, I've gone out, I did the most responsible things I could because I knew it was, well, when I started swimming, I was 18 years old. And I mean, I had done summer league, but in competitive, like actual competitive swimming, the longest workout of my life at the time was my first workout in college. And it was 2.5 hours. There's no way you can go 2.5 hours without peeing, like at all. So I got out twice and I got so much hell from it, from teammates that had never met me. I was new to the team, like new to the sport. And I just got ridiculed for it. And I understand why. But if that door were right there, that makes sense. Because then everyone knows, like, oh, you did go there and then you were out within 90 seconds and you're back or whatever it takes. All right, I like that idea. Do you put a shower in there?
I think you put a shower on the deck.
Oh,
showers,
there you go. Like the diving showers under the diving towers?
Right. So showers are relatively inexpensive, the shower itself, right? It's a water line and it's a fixture. Maybe you have an area drain, right? So
you're already in a swimsuit, so yeah.
If you add that to a bathroom, you're adding a lot of square footage to the bathroom, and that bathroom is pretty expensive. So if you pull that out on the deck, slope the decks appropriately, that's a relatively low-hanging fruit. You see a lot of those, for instance, on the back of like 10-meter towers, right? So divers can stay warm in between if they don't have the ability to have a hot tub. So I think that's a great idea. I mean, the other idea that's in a perfect world is similar to how you're sleeping in the middle of the night and you have to pee, but you really don't want to get up, right? Because it's cold, because if you get up, you're not going to go back to sleep. So I always wonder if you could just have like a sliding trough that you just pee in and then close it and it just flows away. Why not do that with swimming?
Is that what you wonder?
That's what I wonder. That's
yeah,
what
just pick yourself up and roll yourself into the gutter and just let loose.
That's my perfect world. I mean, come on, mattress company, let's reinvent this.
Justin, this is a professional video we're doing here. So, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, we have to have access, because here's the next question, and it's the final topic, maybe not the final question. Racing suits. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you came up when the suits were just getting started. I came into the sport in 2005, and those suits, we had Fastskin 2s. That was the most advanced technology at the time. Fastskin 2s were not that hard to put on. They were tight, but they were not that hard. Fastskin Pros were like, they felt like tissue paper at the time. Those were hard to put on. But then the tech suits came out, where you had those full body Jaked LZRs and Arena X Glides, and like the 08-09 era. You could not put those on in under 20 minutes. I don't care how much you had experience doing them. I put on a lot of those, and you just can't go very fast. Once you have it on, you can't just peel that off, especially if you're a female. A guy, like now it's jammers because those suits are banned. We have no excuse. I'm not going to pretend we have an excuse, but the ladies do. They can't just take their shoulder straps down and go down and pee. So is the shower the most appropriate place? Maybe not the deck shower, but what are your thoughts on that?
I think there's some health code issues there that similar to, I mean, what I'd love to do is put a section in the pool or at every wall, you have a little vacuum, right? And if someone needs to pee, then go right next to it and it just sucks everything out. So
where does it go? To waste?
Well, yeah, go into the gutter, and then wherever, you have a separate line that can go out to directly to sewer. Maybe it's
everyone with the stigma though. Everyone would know, oh, Justin's over there in the pee corner.
And I'd be fine with that, frankly. I mean, if I don't have to get out of the water and get all the stigma associated with going to the locker rooms and missing the set, yeah, I'm going to go visit Pee Man's Corner, or whatever you want to call it, and take care of business. But that's not feasible, right? A health department never proved it. And health department, and from a stigma perspective, from a sanitation perspective, I don't want random people peeing in the showers where I'm going to be showering later, right? So
they already do. They already pee in the pool. They already pee in the shower. So
maybe some grading. If you create a pee stall, maybe have some grading there that things flow through, so it's not flowing down into an area drain or to a deck drain that you stand on. You'd probably want to add some secondary disinfectant there as well, whether that's a mister now that deactivates everything that COVID's made so popular, or just a UV lamp or something in the shower.
Or maybe ozonated water.
Love it. Yeah.
I mean, that there's ways to do it. We're spitballing here, and this is in many ways a very funny topic, but it's a real topic, and it's a real problem in our industry. And especially since the whole purpose of this is to get water quality and air quality as healthy as possible for swimming pools. That's the whole purpose of this channel, in particular indoor pools. And the urea that's found in our sweat, it may be a small amount of urea in your sweat, but your pee is loaded with urea, and it's a very complex thing to break down. So chlorine will combine with that in various stages. And it's not just chloramines that are created, by the way. There's hundreds of variations of those byproducts. We just generically call them all chloramines. So it's not just nitrogen compounds that combine with chlorine. There's also chloroorganic compounds that they don't combine with chlorine, but they do off-gas byproducts. So you have this mix of stuff, and if we can minimize proactively the amount of contaminants getting into the water, then that's going to be better. My position has always been, we have to just assume that everybody's going to keep peeing from a design standpoint and from a chemical strategy standpoint, but we want to educate. I totally agree. Educate your kids. You're doing a great thing. I don't exactly know how to keep doing it because there's all sorts of stuff saying how nasty it is and how bad it is, but it's like it's not getting through. So maybe it's something like USA Swimming has to do it. I don't know how they would enforce it. Right. It's kind of like they were going to enforce the no deck change rule. And that took like 4 years. Then they finally actually enforced it. And everyone was like, hey, man, what's the deal? I remember that at trials, and they were, do not deck change here. And everybody was surprised at the time. You have anything you want to add?
I don't think so. At the end of the day, the two most pragmatic are education and scheduled potty breaks, right? I mean, we again, to establish that culture that, hey, we've been in here for an hour. Everyone use the bathroom, go use the bathroom. Everyone else, work on strokes, drills, or whatever that is for 5 minutes, so that you can structure that in to eliminate that stigma.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. And the other thing is, have you ever tried to get 30 people to go use a bathroom at one time?
Yeah, in a facility with 2 stalls.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It just doesn't work. And there's got to be a better way. So Justin, I appreciate you being on here and talking about this topic, because I know you're qualified as a swimmer, but also as a designer. This has been Justin Caron. He is one of the lead principals for Aquatic Design Group, and I'll put his website in the links below. I'm Eric Knight with Arenda, your host of Natatorium Knowledge. Thank you so much, and I hope this helps. Take care.